a different image or different video variation preview, I could click view more variations. And down here, I could change which text I want to see, and I could change which image or video I want to see. So let's say I want to see my tall video, and I want to see it in, let's say, an Instagram story. And there it is, and you could actually see my captions showing up over there. And there's the Learn More button, and we're going to change some of those. We'll test a couple of different call to action buttons. But this is a really cool tool to preview ad variations. If you want to actually see what this ad looks like inside Facebook, you click this little button over here next to Ad Preview, and you send notification to Facebook, and you're going to get a message that preview notification could not be sent to mobile device. This is another one of those. Little things, or the little glitches in Facebook. But if I open up my Facebook app right here, I'm going to get a notification, which I did, and it says your ad is ready to preview. And if I click that notification, it shows me a preview of the ad inside my Facebook feed. So that's pretty cool also. I like to do that. It's just a habit of mine. I always like to see what people will actually experience when they see different versions of the ads I'm creating. So I haven't created my slideshow yet. Again, I'm going to go through everything, save it out, and then try to come back into it and edit it before it's live, of course. But there's a few more things we could add as tests. And just, again, to reiterate, you don't have to have 5 text variations. My 5 text variations are all relatively similar. They just sort of start off with a little bit of a different thing. But I explained the essential components, clarity, etc. Display link. So if I scroll down here, I don't necessarily want to show learning.adventureppc.com, so I could just type in something like, there you go, it's in all caps. And let's see, headlines. So we have 5 different headlines. So this is another important thing. So you don't have much space to write a headline, and you want to, again, give that sense of urgency. News, anything news works very, very well. You want to be objective. You could say things like, for me, I want to point out to the amount of students I have. So 130,000 students in my full-length courses. Over 1 million people have attended and watched my online videos on YouTube, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and start writing some headlines. So first off, let's say maybe we'll do like new workshop. Conversion rate training, something like that. And I want to make sure that at least I want to show, let's see, a mobile, because mobile newsfeed is probably where you're going to be getting the maximum amount of traffic. And you want to make sure that the entire headline is showing up. All right, so I'll add another one. You have up to 5 headlines. So I like this siren emoji. It's sort of like bright, kind of has it's a little catchy. Anyway, that's cool. So the newsfeed link description, again, you have 5 options here. I'm probably not going to add 5 options because this is not something which is as visible. It doesn't appear in all the placements. So I'm going to quickly write a few options in and speed it up as well. So I've added some emojis into the newsfeed link description anyway, because why not? I'm going to do 4 over here. And then the call to action you could also test. So learn more is a good one. Sign up is not bad. Oh no, learn more and sign up seem to be enough. We're not an influencer, so we don't need to do anything with branded content. We have our pixel set up, and we're basically ready to go. The only thing I didn't do yet that I wanted to do was my slideshow ads, but I'm going to publish this, and I'm going to quickly make sure that my ad settings are proper. All right, so now that we've published the campaign, I want to go out here and I want to make sure that this campaign is actually paused until I'm sure I want to launch it.
I want the fire truck on Amazon.
You want to get a fire truck from Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay, later. Okay, so I'm back. I spent some time in Canva creating 6 or 7 different stills with some text overlaid, and I'm going to create a slideshow. I'll do that real quick. I'm going to add my photos. Okay, so I uploaded those images. I have them in the right order. I'm going to do 1 second and a fade. You could preview it over here. That'll give us 9 options, and that's okay. We don't have to necessarily have 10 options. I'm going to give them 9. We'll give them a slideshow. And this just sort of goes on the theme of, like, you want to give Facebook everything that you can to allow them to give you to test the maximum amount of variation. So that's just an overall good practice. Now, you might be thinking, that you've seen like on Instagram stories. The video says, hey, Instagram, and swipe up, because that's like what you do on Instagram stories, which means that advertisers are creating custom ad content for Instagram. They're using edit placements, they're deselecting everything else, and they're selecting just to show ads on Instagram. So there's nothing wrong with that. And if you had an unlimited amount of time and resources, or if I did, I would create separate campaigns with dynamic content, dynamic creative, with multiple videos, multiple text, multiple this, multiple that, for Instagram in particular, because sure, like if you're really, really tailored to a specific format, that could end up performing better. But because you don't have an unlimited amount of resources, and Instagram is not going to be the number one source of traffic for this campaign in particular, I'm very happy with not editing my placements. And okay, so instead of saying swipe up on Instagram, it'll say learn more. It's not perfect, but it's much better in the long run to be stronger with your video, image, slideshow assets, and your copy than anything else. Like, that's really the key. So I have 9 out of 10 options here. I have everything I basically want. I have my slideshow. I have 3 videos. I have a tall video, short. I have a horizontal video, short, and I have a long horizontal. I have my slideshow. I have a couple images with text. I have a couple images without text. Yeah, like I think I'm pretty good to go here. I have 2 different calls to action. I have 4 newsfeed descriptions. I have 5 headlines. Let's publish this. And then I'm just going to quickly show you how to duplicate an ad set, and change around the targeting setting, and then you could continue to build out your campaigns from there. But again, the whole point of this video is to show that really the brunt of your work, the majority of your work, is really going to be focused on getting your dynamic creative set up in the way you want it set up. So I'm just waiting for this to finish publishing, and then I don't even need to exit. I could duplicate my ad sets right from here, and I could even wait for it I don't have to wait for it to be published. I could duplicate right away, but I just have it. I like things to be done and published before I start messing around, because Facebook could get glitchy. Okay, so let's say I would duplicate this. So I'll say I want to create this inside the existing campaign. So right, I want to make sure that I'm creating this ad set inside this existing campaign. And if I know I'm going to be making multiple copies, but I like I like to make 1 copy at a time. Show existing post engagements on duplicated ad. Yes, I like to do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. And another reason, you want to make sure you have your dynamic creative set up properly, because if you don't, every little edit you want to make, you have to now go and make it in every single ad set, which is a real huge pain. So now I have this set up. I could change the name of this. So this will be lookalike audiences, visitors, 180 days. So I'm going to create lookalike audiences from my previous website visitors, because of course I have the Facebook pixel on my website. And the only thing I'm going to really be messing around with is just this one pane, the lookalike audiences, the ad set level. There's 3 levels of the hierarchy. You have the campaign, you have the ad set, you have the creative. And once I'm done with my creative and I'm duplicating, I'm just going to be duplicating it over there. So say I would go down here and I would just delete these audiences, and I would come in here and make some lookalike audiences. So let's see, the US 1%, 180 days of my web traffic, same targeting, same everything else. I'm just changing that around. Okay. I'm gonna publish that, and I can keep on going on and creating. And I'm just gonna show you one quick example of me duplicating an ad set and choosing an interest category. So again, inside see, this is what happens when these things happen. Okay, existing campaign. I'm just gonna cancel this out. Now it's published. Duplicate inside my existing campaign. Actually, what I want to do is probably, okay, so I'm going to add this. And I'm just going to do lookalike audiences. What I'm going to make the label is just, let's say, online or interest, online marketing. So this won't be based on any lookalike audiences. This will be a broad interest category. So I'm going to remove this audience, and I'm going to add some, like, I could look at suggestions. Okay. And I'm going to always, and I typically, because I'm in the range of or I'm in the mode of giving Facebook's AI as much power as possible, I'm going to select to expand interest when it may improve performance at a lower cost per result. So my audience definition is very broad here. I'm targeting 3 countries. I'm targeting a bunch of these pretty generic categories. So it's, my potential reach is 220 million people. That's what Facebook's telling me. But of course, we don't trust this gauge necessarily. And again, you don't need to overanalyze this or overthink this too much. What you want to basically do is test a few different high-level ideas that sort of make sense. Digital activities, small business owners, these all sort of make sense. Maybe advertising is a little bit broad. So I'll remove advertising. Internet marketing, digital marketing, online advertising, social media marketing. These are all, pretty relevant to this category. So I'm going to stay with automatic placements and all these things, and I'll publish this ad set. And I'm going to go and create a few different. My goal here before I launch the campaign is to create a few additional ad sets that also target that have lookalike audiences plus interest categories that have maybe narrower interest categories like followers of certain figures that are popular in our field. I want to test a whole bunch of different ideas, but the main thing I got my dynamic creative straight. So remember, really focus on the dynamic creative. The main takeaway is to use Campaign Budget Optimizer, create as many strong assets in each field as possible, so you have a few different powerful image assets. And again, it's better to optimize for quality over quantity. It's better to give Facebook 5 really good images or 2 really good videos than to give them 10 images if 4 of them are really weak, because Facebook in the beginning is going to use all of them. So use those. So make sure to have good headlines, spend time on your text, spend time on your images and videos. Look up and keep an eye out for the video specifications, the 4:5 aspect ratio for stories, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, less than 15 seconds for those same placements as well. Nothing wrong with a longer video. Make sure you have your captions in there. Use Campaign Budget Optimizer, and make sure you spend time with your copy. Embrace long form copy. There's nothing wrong with that. That little trick we found out, 2 little tricks we found out. One is that you could put emojis in the newsfeed description and in the headline of an ad on Facebook. And also, if you get stuck in that radio button interface where you could either choose video or images, get out of the guided creation, go into the quick creation, and then you'll have the 3 buttons where you could click slideshow, videos, or image. That's basically it. I strongly encourage you guys to try dynamic creative campaigns. We're running Facebook campaigns for many clients, many universities. Actually, we have a whole bunch of big universities with big budgets that we run Facebook advertising campaigns for, and the dynamic creative campaigns are the best performing campaigns for basically all of those clients. So it's not rocket science. It's just you have to put the work in. You could see it takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy, and then you don't touch it. Let it run for at least 4 or 5 days without touching the Facebook campaigns. Just lastly, okay, we're gonna go eat now. Just lastly, before we sign off, your daily budget should be at least 10 times the amount you're willing to pay for a conversion. So if you're willing to pay $10 for a conversion, your daily budget should be at least $100. That's information that we've gotten from our Facebook reps. We've implemented that best practice and we've seen it have positive results. So 10x what you're willing to pay for a conversion, whether that be a registration or a sale, whatever you're tracking as a conversion, that should be your daily budget at a minimum. So thank you guys very much for checking out this lecture. I really appreciate it. I hope it was insightful. I hope it's practical. I hope you see unbelievably good results from your Facebook campaigns. Leave me some feedback in the comments. Let me know what you guys are doing with Dynamic Creative. I'd love to see. I'd love to check it out. I will see you guys soon in the very next lecture.